What's up, guys? So, driving home from Tactical Response. In my previous video on the way out here, I had said to ask any questions you want about the class, and I'll try to answer them on my way back. I only got one question, and before I go into that question, I want to say that this is not my review of the class. This is just answering questions from a previous video. So if I will be doing a review on the class. You'll see that posted later. For now, this is just not the review. The one question I had, and I guess I should have expected this question, was since I've trained at Valor Ridge and now Tactical Response, which two do I suggest do I like more? Or which one do I suggest train at? I don't remember the exact wording of the question, but basically, which one? Choose one. My answer to that question is both. I'm not going to choose one. They're both good schools. I learned different things at both, and I learned the same thing at both. So, what I mean by that is there was things that were taught at both schools, and there was things that were taught at one school but not the other, and vice versa. So I'm a huge proponent at training anywhere you can. Obviously, you should make sure that they're not going to be training you something stupid before you go, but yeah, go to more than one place. And someone actually commented on that previous video that I made and said that he was blacklisted from training at one of the schools because he had said that he trained at the other school. So if that's something you're worried about, so for instance, if you're worried about being banned from training at Tactical Response because you have trained at Valor Ridge, just don't fucking say anything. Don't tell them you've trained at both. Now, I'm not calling that person a liar, but I will tell you that I just trained at Tactical Response, and all the instructors knew that I had trained at Valor Ridge. They didn't care. They didn't blacklist me. They didn't tell me never to come back, and they never talked any shit or anything. So it is what it is. If you want to, I don't suggest that you take sides in the matter unless you know what happened, and no one knows what happened. So if you wanted to take the side of one person over the other, that just seems ridiculous to me, because you don't know what the fuck happened and it has nothing to do with you. So why do you even care? Why are you even wondering what happened? That's just my opinion on the whole matter. But just to kind of sum it up, the answer to that question: train at both. Go to both schools. They're both fucking awesome. If you've never done this, it'll be the best weekend you've ever had shooting. Promise. And you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot about yourself, and then also you'll just learn a lot of techniques and tactics and what works and what doesn't. I will be back at Tactical Response in March for the same class to go ahead and do it again, just because, not that I'm unconfident in myself, it's actually the opposite. I am confident in them to correct some issues. Something I really, and I knew this, I've known this, my trigger finger, I need to slow down when I'm shooting. I need to really work on getting that trigger press to the rear correctly, because whenever I slow down, Jay did this multiple times. Jay would slow me down and make me take my time, and whenever I did, the bullet holes would be touching each other, but it's just I would be going too fast to really get those fundamentals correctly applied. So it's good I've known that, but the reason why it's good to have a competent instructor watching you is because I knew this, and I never slow myself down. I know that I need to slow myself down. I don't. He slowed me down. He made me do it. So it's good to have that extra eye watching you. And also, in the previous video, I had mentioned that I'm going for an ultra realistic class, whereas I wasn't going to use my mag carriers. I was just going to use my holster and put the magazine in my pocket like I do every day, like how I normally carry. So I did that both days. It was actually, I did better with it than I assumed. That it wasn't as difficult to get the magazines out quickly and everything like that as I assumed it would be, until we started doing the one-handed stuff. And once I realized, it actually kind of made me rethink wanting to do this, which theoretically I would always be using two hands in a perfect scenario. But the reason why I'm rethinking doing this is because carrying it in my pocket is because whenever I would try to get I carry the magazine in my left pocket. So whenever I would try to get the magazine out with my right hand, it was pretty difficult. If I was leaning to the right at all, it was practically impossible. I would have to change my stance so that I wouldn't be leaning to the right at all. I'd have to correct that. In fact, leaning to the left made it a little bit easier because there would be less tension on the pocket from the material just pulling on it. So that's why I did that, was to learn what is going to be good and what's going to be bad. And if you ever do take one of these classes, I highly suggest that you get out there and do it like you do every day. Train like you carry your pistol every day. Talk about it for now, because I want to save everything I really want to say. I want to save that for the review. So keep an eye out for the review. I also got some footage from the class of some of the other students, one of the drills that we did, and just some comments from the other students. I was actually kind of surprised. There was only 5 students. I expected a lot more, but it made it cool. So don't forget to check out my buddy over there at Standing on Second. I put in a video request for him, and we got to make sure he doesn't forget about it. So go tell him to make that inventory video. And then, of course, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Thanks for watching, and keep an eye out for the rest of the videos on Tactical Response Fighting Pistol.